I travelled to the sleepy suburbs of Cincinnati, where I found that living with a blood drinker can push a relationship to its limits.
I wish the feeding were a little bit more romantic because I don't get anything out of it. I don't want it to be sexual all the time, but it would be nice if she didn't do it in as clinical of a manner.
I don't see asking point blank, I need blood, may I please cut you, as being clinical. To me, it's not about sex, it's a physical hunger.
About 3 years into the relationship, Sarah came out and she told me that she was kind of a vampire, and I didn't know quite what to make of it to begin with, but she said that basically it wasn't the kind of immortal undead vampire. She didn't sleep in a coffin or anything like that, but she basically wanted to, had a need to drink blood. And when she first suggested it, it didn't repulse me. It wasn't something I had ever thought about before, but it didn't turn me off, and it didn't turn into a big argument or anything, and I kind of went, well, if that's what you like, if that's what's going to be part of our relationship, then, that's fine.
Scott and I have been together since about late 1993. We started out as friends who occasionally had a physical relationship and turned into something a lot more romantic. We are desperately in love with each other. We just haven't been getting along. Under ordinary circumstances, I like to drink blood maybe once or twice a week. Lately, it's been more like, every several months. If I actually asked him, can I feed, he'd probably quite happily oblige. I think he'd rather I were more romantic about it. When I get desperate, I have a hard time being romantic. It's just, please, let's just do this. We can be romantic later on, maybe, but my problem mostly right now is that I have a hard time even asking.
Can you describe Sarah's mood when she hasn't fed for a while?
She gets really irritable, really cranky. Physically, she seems drained, she seems slower, physically depressed. She starts getting sick very easily. She starts needing a lot of sleep, getting very tired very easily, and after we feed, I can notice a difference. I can't explain it. I can't say there's a physical difference or an emotional or energy difference, but she does seem to, whether psychosomatically or in reality, does seem to feel better, perk up, not be as irritable, be able to take longer walks, be able to do more without tiring out as easy.
Is this a good spot?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make a cut now. I'd explain why I need to drink blood to him if I actually understood why I need it myself. I've gone through various hypotheses. When I first came out to myself, I was obsessed with finding out why I was a vampire, why anybody would be a vampire. I've stopped asking why. I don't think there is really a logical reason. I just know that I need, so I deal with the practical aspects of it. Right now, since I'm actually on camera, I'm not focusing quite as much on him as I usually do. Under ordinary circumstances, I actually get high off of it. I wouldn't call it a sexual high. It's more of an emotional high. Definitely a physical high, too. There have been times where I got a good mouthful. Not from him, because I don't cut him that deeply. There have been times that I got a good mouthful and I actually felt it almost going through my veins, and I know that's psychosomatic because there's no reason it should feel like that, but that was my experience of it. I tend to drown in it. It's something non-caffeinated for me.
Right, you want caffeine-free? I don't think the feeding itself, the problems with the feeding is really what's contributing to the major problems. If, the feeding were to get easier, I think it would make the relationship run a little bit smoother.
I think it's a fairly large factor, actually. I find it rather difficult to ask him for blood for a number of reasons. I don't like being dependent. I feel bad about cutting him because I know he has very sensitive skin. It's not supposed to hurt at all. It hurts me when I see him wince.
I'm a very romantic person, and when we're doing something this close between the two of us, I don't need it to be like a sexual experience every time. I wouldn't mind it being incorporated into our sex every once in a while. But I wish it would be a little bit more something between the two of us rather than just, I'm hungry tonight.
Sarah does not have regular access to vampire bars and clubs like the ones in major cities, but she told me that she can still correspond with other blood drinkers via the internet. And she runs her own website, which now has over 300 members.
Websites and internet chat rooms and e-lists like the one I run are one of the major ways, sometimes the only way, that self-identified vampires can actually hook up with each other. I have my site up here, which I use to try to get rid of some of the more stupid myths that people hold about vampires, as well as some of the questions that people ask, like, am I a vampire? I keep getting asked that all. I'm like, if you have to ask, you probably are. Let's see if I can get you to the personal section. Those are always interesting to read. Greetings all, I'm a 44-year-old male seeking a hungry female vampire to feed. I feel such a strong need to do this. I long to watch as you drink the blood from my veins. I know the food to avoid and those to eat to make my blood sweet for you. I ask nothing in return. I'm not looking for sex or a relationship except that as a vampire and donor. I would also be interested in being part of a feeding circle if you have hungry friends. I look forward to serving you. Please contact me soon. That sounds like a fetish. Hey, you know.
I was amazed to find out that every year there are gatherings for self-identified vampires held all over America. Sarah and Scott usually attend them, but this year Sarah has decided to hold her own gathering, mainly for the blood drinkers that she's been corresponding with on the internet for over a year.
This will probably be the first time tonight that everybody here has met as a single group. I've never met most of these people before in my life. All of my parties end up turning either into orgies or like totally G-rated piles where people sit around reading Winnie the Pooh. I have no idea which this one's going to turn out to be. I don't think I need to be a psychic to sense that there's going to be some hanky-panky going on tonight. I just had a couple of lesbians and making out on my lap. Now I'm about to check on a duck that I've been cooking.
What do you have planned? What's on the agenda tonight?
Well, we're going to do a little circle where we synchronize our energy, and then we're going to bleed into a cup of mead and drink from the cup.
Now I want everybody to draw energy with their left hand and give energy with their right around the circle. And we'll do this for a little while.
The mead actually is alcohol, so it sterilizes whatever germs might have been in the blood. We've all been tested for the really major stuff like HIV and things that the alcohol wouldn't kill. So this is just to kill things like common colds and stuff like that, because nobody wants to come home with a cold.
First time I actually drank blood was 4 years ago. It's almost like a drug. I almost get buzzed off of it.
I mean, some people like the show. They like the flash and the glamour. But there are other people who just live their normal everyday lives, and they can walk down the street and you wouldn't look at them twice. A modern day vampire can be anyone. It can be your next door neighbor. You would never know.
My time had run out, yet my subjects kept increasing. Even though the individuals I came across genuinely seemed to crave blood for a multitude of reasons, there is still no logical explanation as to why. I know that blood drinking has been around since pre-Christian times, and in some weird way, the people I met seem to be carrying on this underground tradition, attaching it to the vampire myth. I'm still no closer to understanding why these people drink blood, but what I do know is that the subculture is youthful and growing, and though I initially thought that it was confined to the United States, personal ads on the internet indicate that there are blood drinkers all over the world, including the UK.